Howdy, everyone. Matt here. I got a question for you. What do you think is going through the minds of those people applying to PT school? Let's talk about it. All right, everyone. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. My name is Matt. I am Matt the PT, coming at you with another video, another topic of something in the physical therapy world. This one, like I said, what do you think is going through people's minds when they are applying to PT school? Are they absolutely bonkers, or maybe they got a plan? So, like I said, now this came from a post by the APTA about a month ago, and I will read the post here. So this year's surge in PT school applicants is a powerful sign that more people are seeing the value and impact of our profession. The future of physical therapy is strong and growing. And our president of the APTA, Cal Covington, comes out there and he gives a very positive message. And that's great. I think that's awesome. Hey, being positive, saying, hey, it's great. We're going to be welcoming all these people into our profession. But then you scroll down and you start seeing the comments. And you start reading through the comments. And oh my gosh, overwhelmingly, they're negative, okay? They are so negative. And seeing this, to me, and I am smiling because I think it's so funny, it really gives me the thing of if somebody is a writer, a television or a movie writer, and they're like, hey, could you come up with a character in their persona of an elderly person who just rants and they're always complaining about the younger people, that the young people are doing wrong and they don't know what they're doing? That is exactly what these comments are. They are this, it's like you just took a stereotypical boomer, and I'm using boomer in that term of it, that you would say, like, okay, if we're talking about boomer, this is what we do. That they are just going, those young people just don't know what they're talking about. They're just all dumb, and they're making this bad decision. And to me, it is the absolute funniest thing, because I know several of them speak out against that. They're saying that those, they're out of touch and they don't know what they're talking about because they're on this. They're doing the same thing. Okay. Really. And, I just kind of want to highlight it and just talk about it. And, let's go right through some of them. So the first one I want to talk about, it says you can make almost double the money managing a Buc-ee's than you can being a doctorate PT. Let that sink in. Buc-ee's is pretty cool, though. Yes, Buc-ee's is really cool. If you're not familiar with Buc-ee's, it is a large gas station / retail chain. And it's also got really good food in it, really good brisket. And the beaver nuggets are amazing if you know about those. But they put this sign up. This sign, they put up in there, and it lists out all these jobs. Look at the very top. What does that say? The general manager making what? Over $200,000. The GM makes over all this. And I've talked about this previously. Okay. Buc-ee's is extremely successful. I think I looked it up, and it's like on average, a store will make like $50 million a year. They're always busy. If you go on the weekend, they are slammed busy. But did you not think that there is a reason that they put that sign out there? Okay. And so I was kind of break this thing down. Do you think they put that sign out there again for a reason? And it's the reason of getting applicants. We want to get people applying. So we're going to put these numbers up there, and they look really, that's really cool. I'm going to apply for that. What do you think people look at the most? Do you think they look all the way down at the bottom at the lowest paying job? No, they're looking at the top one. They're looking at oh, that's the one right there. Look at how much they make. But here's the thing, and I did point it out on this post, and then I deleted it because the person just wants to argue, and I'm just going to be honest. There's no point in trying to argue online with people because typically one person has their point of view, the other person has their point of view, and no one's going to really come to an understanding. But here is the thing about that. Do you honestly think that you are going to be able to get that job? Really? Do you think, for whatever reason that you have, that you are qualified to be the general manager of a Buc-ee's making $200,000+ a year? Do you have the skills? That's the same as Joe Schmo off the street walking in and going, well, I think I can do your job. I think I can do this. You would say, no, you can't. You don't have the education, training, understanding of anything. That's what's going on. Do you not know how many other people see that and go, I need to apply for that job too? So what differentiates you from them? Really, honestly, okay? Everyone's applying for that job. To get that job, unless you have the skills so that you've built over a long period of time coming from other retail with logistics and all that background, they are going to hire you. They're most likely going to hire someone from within, somebody who understands every aspect of running a Buc-ee's, the whole thing about their business. Here's another thing, and the person did comment on there and go, when I had pointed this out, they're like, well, still, it's still a better plan, even if it took you 10 plus years. That ain't gonna be taking you 10 years. If you've ever worked in anything like that, where you've tried to move up to an upper management like that, it's really hard to do it in 10 years. Yes, do some people do it? Yeah. There's some luck. There's some things that happen that can move you up, but it's most likely not going to happen in like 10 years. You're going to start out at the bottom. You're going to start out really low at the bottom. And I'm going to be honest, in big places like that, the people down there are expendable. They're the ones who turn over. They're the people that are coming in and out. And at any point, you could be let go. You could find something better. You could get discouraged. It's extremely hard to make it up. How many people have that idea? I'm going to do the big GM thing, but fall out on the way up. So this is always just the dumbest comment when I see this. This one is funny. This is like a really good boomer one. Why in God's name would a young person accumulate $150,000 to $250,000 in debt, get a $73,000 a year job with likely declining salaries coming, and the ABTA is lobbying Congress for the passage of a bill that guarantees annual losses against inflation for the next decade? I feel sorry for this kid. This one comes from someone who is like terminally on Facebook, and like that's the only thing they do. They only post the most negative things, always negative. That also kind of shows is like, wow, are you only paying $73,000 at your clinic? You're not really wanting to pay anybody anymore. So again, this one is just a very good classic one. Again, this person is always so negative. This one, no, it's the fact that the market is lying to students. Anytime anyone starts throwing stuff out about business or what's going on with anything, I really take it with a grain of salt. One thing I've seen, if you watch ESPN with the sports, with sports analysts, they're throwing out their predictions and ideas and stuff like that. They're throwing those things out. Turn on, the finance channel, whatever that is. I was watching this for a period of time. It is the same thing. It's just people making guesses. Okay, that's what they think they going on. Again, so you watch ESPN with sportscasters, they're making their predictions and stuff of what's going to happen. And if you notice, no one ever really tries to hold back and really like see if they are 100% correct. Kind of their broad things, they can be correct when they pick like a team to win or somebody to do well. But when you look down like at the the minute things of it, they don't, I'll say for football, they're never right on like the points scored in the game, when they're going to be scored, like how many rushes, how many touches, they're never right on those very, very specifics. Same thing goes in business. If you look at all these people that are picking what's going to do well and what's going to do that, yeah, you could possibly be right in some aspects of it, but you're not going to be right in the like minute details. And additionally, as I saw one time, someone posted, everyone's an expert in a bull market. And I'm like, that's pretty true that you just throw something out there. So anytime I ever see anybody say this, I'm like, okay, you're probably just spouting stuff that you're looking, again, with your level of bias. And that's always goofy to see. This one's a good one. This profession is a joke. I regret getting myself into debt every day as there's no way out of it with a PT salary. PT schools are committing fraud, in my opinion, by selling these poor kids a false narrative and should be ashamed of themselves. So this is something else I saw one time that somebody was complaining about the schools, and they were saying that apparently like the schools in the APTA were like colluding together to like commit fraud and just get all this money. And to which I commented like, okay, well, if that's true, You need to get that out there. Do you not think that some lawyers are licking their chops at taking on a case where you can take down a giant school and a giant association? Like, how big would that payday be? Like, and if you have that information of coming out, wouldn't it make change? Wouldn't that change everything for the better if you have all of this stuff and you do that? Wouldn't that make it all the better? But now point that out, and the person's like, well, it's just my opinion that I think's going on. It's like, oh, it's just something that you came up with because you're upset about it. Now, do I believe the cost of school is too much? Yes. Yes, I do. I do believe the cost of school is way too much. And I'm going to be honest, like, the schools are going to tell you, in like anything you do, have you ever gone into any kind of thing when you're looking up from the outside and that they're negative? Really, like any of it? Like, think of like anything. Like when you look at it from the outside, are they just negative about it? No, they're going to tell you it's the great, most wonderful thing ever. So again, something that I feel like it's just, there's somebody who's just upset and it, whatever. If you think these comments are just wild, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. It helps out so much. Back to the video. Oh, here is another one. I've been in the profession 22 years. My daughter heads to college next month and was interested in PT for some time. And I thought about it'd be great for her to join my practice or take it over someday. I could not let her do it to herself the way our profession is headed. I turned her to PA. She'll be done in 5 years instead of the 6 or 7 for the same tuition. And in our regard, starting PA salaries are more than double our PT salaries plus big sign-on bonuses. This is something I really need to be aware of, is that that's the big push that people are saying, don't do PT, go into PTA or PA, or go into like nurse practitioner, nursing, go into those things. And I find that this is a silly thing to do as well. You're just looking at it and going, oh, well, that thing looks good over there. Just go do that. Just do that thing, that looks really good. That's the thing like Starbucks. I know years ago people were saying Starbucks gives all their employees, health insurance. They're part-time people. They're like, go do that. Well, come to find out, they often don't schedule people enough time to qualify for it. Yeah, it looks good from the outside, but this. I point this out. With everyone saying, go into physician assistant school, which is what PA is, go into that. What can be a possible outcome of this? You flood the market with them. Everyone starts going into that. This mass of people come out, and it bottoms out what their jobs make because they're plentiful. They're everywhere. I've brought this up about that you kind of have to be aware of that with jobs. I know the example of this that I saw many years ago. Early on in my career, once I started as a PT, I was occasionally get high school kids or you're talking to them and they're saying, I want to be a pharmacist. I want to be a pharmacist. I want to go into pharmacy. And I met so many people who wanted to go into pharmacy. Now flash forward all these years forward and the market's kind of bottomed out. I've talked to several people who are pharmacists who are like, yeah, retail pharmacy, like those drugstores like on the corner, like Walgreens, CVS. Because they're not paying enough. I'm not doing that stuff. Or they go into a private thing or they're doing something else. I've talked to people that said, yeah, we know of pharmacies that are only open certain days of the week because they can't get anybody to work because they're not paying enough. They're not paying anything that they would take for it. So it looks like they just bottomed out the market. Same thing could happen with this. I think that is something just so silly that people just look at this thing and go, oh, this thing looks good. Just go do that. Just go do that. But not really looking at the overall picture for it. And this last one to talk about, I do know students considering PT school, and I attempt to dissuade each and every one of them. This is the one that really, I feel like, kind of encapsulates that thing. It's like you're upset with what you do. So I'm going to tell you, the younger generation, don't do this. I talked about this in a previous video. I feel like when I see that comment, it reminds me of what I went through when I was younger. And I've heard other people say that they went through a very similar thing when they were younger. That the adults in their life, parents, teachers, bosses, whatever, were saying, don't do this. Don't do this thing. Don't do this. I came from a blue collar area. A lot of people had worked skilled, unskilled labor, trade jobs, and they would tell their kids, my friends, to say, don't do this. You're breaking your back. You're killing yourself. I'm hurting. I'm coming in sweaty. I miss all your programs because I got to work overtime and I got to do this. And yeah, they had all this stuff in there, but they're like, just go to college and get the good job and don't do this. So that's what they did. Now, flash forward, those same people that were saying that were like, well, why did you go to college? Why did you go do that? That was a dumb thing to do. Why did you go to the trades? You can make this. What? Really? We were listening to you. We were doing those things that you really said for us to do. And you didn't have a discussion. It's that same thing. It's just history repeating itself on that. Now, I'm going to kind of wrap up with some of these points. Now, I talk to students as much as I can through here on social media, in person, and they will say, some of them will say, I love to be a physical therapist. I love to get into doing that. And I'm honest with them about it. I don't sugarcoat the whole thing. I don't think that's a big thing. I don't go, oh, it's great and wonderful and amazing. It does. You want to tell the honest truth of it. You don't want to make it sound all doom and gloom because, whenever people start complaining about stuff, people tend to turn off. But I've let them know. Whenever I spoke to high school students, I've let them know, hey, the wages sometimes don't reflect what you think it is. Are you aware of that? And they go, yeah, we are. And that really surprised me the first time I heard it. I talked about the cost of school. This is a graduate level education, so it's going to cost more, than the price in tuition's going up. And they go, yeah, we know. We're planning that. And I was really, the first time I had heard that from a group of high school kids, that they know these things going in, that they know school is up and they are looking at alternatives and they are looking at those things. And it's really, in these comments is really what's saying is that there is a group of people thinking that the younger generation are not doing their homework, that they are too dumb or ignorant or whatever to do their homework, to look into it. Okay. Now I agree. The cost of school is going up and that is a bad thing. I don't think it's good that you come out of school $100,000 and some odd $1,000 in debt. I don't think that's right. Yeah, salaries are getting stagnant. Everything's getting more expensive. And you go through all this, you think you're going to make this big payday and you're going to be limited in it. Reimbursement from insurance companies goes down. I'm not denying any of those things. Have I said that they're not happening? No, I've talked about that many times. I understand these things. But to sit and say that this younger generation, that those people who are applying to PT school, are in their early 20s, they're 21, 22, 23 years old. You don't think that they're smart enough to figure that out, to understand their future, to plan their future, that they are listening to the adults in their life about planning things? You know what those kids are also doing? They're on social media. How many times can you scroll through social media, any of them, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, and that you see people talking about things like student loans or the cost of school do you not think that they are looking at our pages and looking at people talking about that stuff and seeing it firsthand? Do you think they're not looking into it? Our phones we have Google, all the information in the world. We have AI that can answer all of these questions. You don't think that they are utilizing that? You just think they are blindly walking into this? Are some of them probably doing that? Yes, you can't say. Statistically, you can't say that. But you don't think that these kids are looking at that. Okay? You don't think those? You think that they are just dumb, ignorant kids not paying attention to the world that they are about to step in. That's a big reflection on the generation of people who are 10, 15, 20 years older than these people that they are dismissing. Now, I agree. Things are rough. They are rough. Like I said, cost of school is going up. Now, I'm out of school. I am still paying back my loans. Reimbursement is going down. Yeah, we're fighting those cuts all the time. Wages, they're not really going up and reflecting all that. I agree 100%. All of that is going on. But you know what? We need to try to combat it. We need to take those steps. Work together. Yes, the APTA does a lot of stuff to do that. If you don't want to join a part of it, if you don't want to be a part, you can do it in other ways as well. There are other things. You don't have to be a part of an association. You can call your legislators and do that stuff. You can reach out to those people who maybe can understand some of that and help. Maybe if you have a platform or whatnot, you can use it to try to actually get a change. Don't sit there and complain about it. that, was it complaining without action is just whining. It's really like all this. But take the steps. Make it a better profession for the people coming behind you. We want to do that for our kids. We want to, like, hey, I work to provide a better life for my kids. Okay? That's what we all do. It's what every generation does. Why are we not thinking about that for our profession? Hey, let me try to make this better for the people coming from behind me. And the people that are students, you're coming into it. You're into it now. Hey, help us help you make this a better place for you. Once you reach my point, I'm probably about the halfway point of my career. Hey, let us know, how can we help it for you and make it better for you as you are going to get in here and you're going to be replacing me one day. So that's the point. That's the thing. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button. Please consider subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost you a copay or anything. And of course, let me know your thoughts, opinions, beliefs, and all that down in the comments below. So there you go. And until next time, take care of yourself. Take care of your patients. I'll see you then.